Hey and welcome back to part 3 in my declutter series. I will make sure to leave the previous parts up in the cards for you, so make sure you check those out if you haven't already. And in today's video we will start to declutter some base products, so bronzers, foundations as well as concealers. So let's just get straight into some decluttering. Okay, so this is my current bronzer collection, and I actually don't find brown powders that exciting, so I feel like this is way too much. How many shades of brown can one person for one skin tone need and use? So I want to downsize this a bit. I have already hit pan in 2 shades, this one in here from Makeup Geek and the Balm Desert from the Balm. So these I will use up, but I will probably not repurchase them just because they are not the most flattering on my very pale skin tone. I do love the ingredients in the Balm bronzers because they don't have talc in them, so I appreciate that. So we'll try and use this up. There is not that much left, and then I won't repurchase this one. And the same goes for this C palette, where I have this bronzer from Makeup Geek as well as a contour powder from Makeup Geek. The cool contouring shade is in the shade Breakup, and this one is in the shade Love Triangle, which has a warm undertone. And here it is compared to the Balm. The Balm is obviously darker and a bit more red in the undertone. But yeah, I will continue to use up both of these, hopefully. Not that much left, like I said, so both of those are staying because I want to use them up and get them out of my collection that way. I am obviously keeping the contour shade as well, since I use it every day. This is my go-to. I really like this one. So this weird little package is actually the Bare Minerals Ready foundation in the shade Dark. I got this obviously from my workplace, since it is not in the actual packaging. I don't need it whatsoever, and it's not even in the proper packaging, so I will declutter this one for sure. I think Betty Luminizer from the Balm is also going to be decluttered, just because this one is too dark for my skin tone. I don't know if you can tell, but I am starting to see the actual like pan indentations in this product, so I guess I did walk around with way too dark of a bronzer for quite a while there. Yeah, but now I have come to terms with it, and this one is way too dark, so it has to go. Before I was all about a really dark bronze, but now I actually want my bronzing powder to be fairly light, so that is what I have been looking for recently. And this one I actually really thoroughly enjoy. This one is from Wet n Wild, and it is the lightest one in the shade Ticket to Brazil. You do get 13 grams of product, which is a huge amount, so that's very nice, and it doesn't cost much at all, so definitely you get your buck for your bang for your whatever. So yeah, I really actually, surprisingly enough, quite enjoy this one, so I will definitely be keeping this one. And I do actually feel like it is a little bit similar to this next one from Becca, which is also a really great shade match for me. It's another really pale shade as well. I feel like these two are kind of similar in shade, which is probably why I enjoy both of them so much. This shade in particular, sometimes it's really hard for me to get out English words, apparently. This one is in the shade Bali Sands. So last up we have the Cover FX bronzer in the shade Sun Tan. But I am going to keep it because this one actually doubles really nicely as a contour powder as well. Okay, so lastly in this little container we have powders, and I have 6 powders currently, and that is way too many for a super dry girl that doesn't like powder, and the powders always look like crap on. So hopefully we can cut this at least in half. So here we have the NYX color correcting powder in the shade Banana. This one is talc free, which I do appreciate. 6 grams. This is a fairly light shade of Banana, which is why I picked it up. Usually they are way too dark for my skin tone. This one actually has been working for me. I do quite enjoy this one. So I might hold on to this one. I think this is the best drugstore option that I found by far. Next up we have this weird thing that probably none of you are going to recognize. I got this off my work as well with Cell Davines, which is a hair brand usually. I am going to get rid of this one. Makes no sense for me to keep something that none other than myself can get their hands on. So I will be decluttering this one. This one is the Bare Minerals Bare Pro Powder Foundation in the shade Warm Light. This one is not surprising at all, but it doesn't work for my dry skin. Can't say whether or not it's a good or bad product because it's just not suited for dry skin whatsoever. So maybe this would be a really great product if you have oily skin, but I can't attest to that. So this one is going to be going to another home as well. So now we only have 3 powders left. This is the Bare Minerals. A lot of reviews said that this one specifically did not emphasize the dry patches on their face, which is why I decided to give this one a go. And this one is one of the best ones that I've found, but I am not 100% happy with it. I think I am going to hold on to this one because this one is nice in the summertime for me to set my entire face with. This is not something that I would set my under eyes with, which I have saved the NYX color correcting one that I do prefer for underneath my eyes. Next up we have another one of these ginormous, I don't understand why they make them this big. This is another one of their bronzers in the shade Reserve Your Cabana. This one does not look great underneath my eyes, which is why I bought it. I thought it would look really luminous and that it wouldn't age me, but it actually does. I won't be holding on to this one. I will actually declutter this. And that leaves us with this beautiful thing from Hourglass. This costs an arm and a leg, and this is in the shade Diffused Light. So this is what Diffused Light looks like. It is a very, very pale yellow shade infused with a gorgeous sheen. I have actually not even tried this on my face once yet because this just recently came in, so I have nothing, neither good nor bad, to say about the performance yet, unfortunately. So this one is an obvious stay because I obviously have to try it out first. And I am definitely placing all my hope in this little fellow. I'm hoping that this is the holy grail powder that doesn't make me look even drier than what I looked like before I put on my powder. So lastly, for my face products, we have another one of these white ones, and this one contains my foundations as well as my primers. Eyeshadow primers, that is, and also my eyebrow stuff. This one is actually from Laura Geller's, the Luminous something something, and this one sucks. This one is definitely going. Next we have the Milani Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1 foundation. This is in the shade 00 Light Natural. This one is still too dark for me, believe it or not. This is always the foundation that I reach for when I want a full coverage look, so I am definitely keeping this one. Then we have the Jordana Complete Coverage 2-in-1 Concealer and Foundation. This one is practically, in my opinion, the exact same thing as the Milani one. This one is in the shade Honey Olive. So I bought this one summer, I remember, and I don't think I've ever been that dark, and I don't think I ever will be again. Because it's really hard to get tanned here in Sweden because we don't get sun that much. So this shade needs to go. Then we have the Cover FX Natural Finish Oil-Free Foundation. This one is staying. I have a mini Bare Minerals Pure Brightening Serum Foundation. You can see that that is way too dark for me even now. So this one is definitely going. Then we have the Pixie H2O Skin Tint in the lightest shade, number 1 Cream. This one is really strange, and I did not manage to get this one to work. In Sweden, funnily enough, Pixie is pretty much priced as a high-end brand, while I know in the States it is considered a drugstore brand. Let me show you what it looks like when you pump it out, so you understand what I mean by strange. So first it comes out really nice, like a solid, creamy looking, nice foundation. Right there, can you see that? That is starting to separate and break up, and it doesn't look like a solid cream. It's almost like the water is breaking up from the pigment. And it doesn't matter how much I blended this on my face. This one is definitely being decluttered, unfortunately. And then lastly we have my Holy Grail foundation. This one never lets me down. I trust in this one, and it works for me every single time that I've applied it. I will definitely keep on repurchasing this one. This is my 3rd bottle I'm at currently because I suck at shade matching myself. Oh, they can almost have their own little pocket. How cute. Look at these. I have 3 little eyebrow thingies First up we have the LA Girls Shady Slim Brow Pencil, and I do enjoy this one. It has a nice price. It has a really good spoolie. I enjoy that one. And it's one of those really slim tip ones, which I like because these are easier for me to maneuver and to get hair-like strokes out of than the ones that are like triangular and the fat ones, you know what I mean. Then we have the NYX eyebrow gel. So I did enjoy it, but I am decluttering it and I don't think I will repurchase. So I picked up the ColourPop. It's a brow pomade. Brow color in Bangin' Brunette. And I haven't opened this one yet, but I will now once that I have decluttered that one. So I will dig into this one next. So the last thing in this container is eyeshadow primers, and I also have a glitter primer. I think I will be holding on to this one. Then we have the Wet n Wild Photo Focus eyeshadow primer. Now I have only tried this one in the winter time, but it makes my eyelids look way too dry, and it definitely makes them look a bit wrinkly almost, which is not a good look at all. So I will not be holding on to this one. And I am almost completely out of this one. There's like hardly anything in here. This is the, you can't even tell what this is. This used to be the Too Faced Shadow Insurance, and I do really enjoy this one. I haven't had any issues with anything creasing. And then we have the Pure Get Grip. I have nothing to say good or bad about this because I haven't opened it yet. So this is the one that I will open as soon as I am done with the Too Faced one. We are now moving on to lips, and I have 3 of these clear containers, and in these I keep most of my liquid lipsticks. I also have some lipsticks from ColourPop. I also have my lip pencils in here. So let's start by decluttering these, and then I also have 2 traditional lipstick holders as well that we will get into later. Starting off with the Too Faced Melted, I really did not like these whatsoever. I have already decluttered 3 of them. The thing I don't like about them is that they bleed terribly, even with the lip liner, and also the applicator tippy spongy thing is not that great. So this one is definitely going. I tried out the Milani liquid lipstick. This is the shade Adorable, and I would say it's a light beige nude. And this one, I love how it feels when it first initially goes on, but once it dries way too dry, and I don't usually have an issue with dry liquid lipsticks. I don't really mind them, but this one is one of the worst ones because this one cracks when I smile really big. You can actually see it crack. So yeah, this one is unfortunately not a hit with me, so this one is going. Then we have a Pure. This one is in the shade FBF. I have no idea what they mean by that. Shouldn't I have said BFF? I don't know why it's called FBF. Whatever. I like this formula because it's nice and moussey. Those usually don't dry as bad as the ones that are really liquidy. But I especially love the color. Look at that. That is so nice and rich and warm and terracotta. And I do really like the applicator. So for those reasons, I will keep it. Then we have 4 shades from the Balm. These are their matte. No, these are their meat matte hues. I am not all about reds. I feel like I have come to the conclusion after trial and error and buying many a red lip shade that I don't feel like they suit me that well. So the red one is actually gonna go. I feel like I am definitely keeping these 2. This is Honest, and this one is almost like a coral. I have nothing like this in my collection, so this one is definitely unique, so I will keeping that one. And I will also keep this one. This is a darker mauve, and this one is in the shade Charming. And this one I am on the fence about. It may be a little bit too pink for me. Go figures, it's not that pink, but maybe too pink for me. So this is Committed, and it's too pink for myself. I have way too many lip liners for someone who is too lazy to put on lip liner. Let's get rid of this one straight off the bat because I don't think they make these ones anymore. I think they're discontinued. I also don't feel like I need a skin toned one because I'm also too lazy to clean up my lip line. I do really enjoy the Urban Decay ones, the 24/7 one. This is in the shade 1993, and this one is really great if you want to deepen up any nude shade, so I will keep this one. I'm also keeping this one from Pure. This one is in the shade Low Key. These ones sharpen themselves, so they are very handy indeed. And this is more of a rosy shade. so I'm keeping that one. So for someone who doesn't love red lips, I only need to keep one. I would probably not keep this bright of a red. I think I would keep one of the darker ones. So I'm getting rid of the Milani in the shade. Am I blind? True Red. This is the Jordana Easy Liner for Lips in the shade Plush Plum. So these one are a good find at the drugstore. That is the Jordana Plush Plum. And then this is the Milani. These ones are wooden, so you do need to sharpen these in the shade Bordeaux. I actually think I will keep the Jordana because it's nice to not have to sharpen it. So I'm getting rid of the Milani. I have one purple, so I feel like I should keep that one in case I feel like a purple lip. In the shade Cabernet. This is really deep, gorgeous purple. Right there. Are all these nudes? I think so, except for this one. This one is a mauve and I don't have another mauve, so I will keep this one. This is the Milani in the shade Brandy. I used that one quite a bit. It's just a nice mauve shade. Keeping that. And this is where it gets hard because these are all my nudes. Brown. Why do I have a brown? Yeah, that one is just straight up brown, so that can go. That is Coco Loco from Jordana. And then we have a tawny. I feel like this one is a bit rosy, so I don't need that one because I kept another rosy one. So we'll declutter that one. Rock and Rose is probably more like a mauve, and I did keep a mauve. Yeah, it's much lighter mauve, but still a bit too cool tone for me, so I'm getting rid of Rock and Rose from Jordana as well. And now I only have two left. Milani in the shade Spice. I know I love this one. This is more of a warm nude. I have used that one quite a bit. Right there, that one is staying. I love that one. And then we have Latte from Jordana. Let's see if those are really similar. If they're not, then I might keep both. I don't need both. I'm gonna get rid of that one as well. Let's tackle this one because this is not really anything to tackle. This is my ColourPop Ultra Satins, Ultra Mattes, and Lippy Sticks. And these are my babies. These are my loves. ColourPop is my favorite brand, and I don't think I could get rid of any of these. So I think I'm actually going to keep all of them.